My name is Doug Holder. I'm a poet and I teach here at Endicott for the last 13 years. It's great to teach something that you love, and I certainly love poetry, and it's been part of my life for a long time. I started poetry when I was really seriously when I moved. I went into a rooming house in Boston in the 70s, and I started keeping journals, and I started doing a hell of a lot of reading, and started observing the world very closely. I even postured at being a poet. I had like the hat, a beret, and a waxed mustache, if you can believe that, and I had a little bandana on my thing. And so I was posing as being a poet, but it kept going. So I eventually became what I was posing. So I met different characters. Because in those days, you could get a room, cheap, and so you would, a lot of people were, not corporate executives, but they were like poets and writers and just people who were nuts, the toothless prostitute, the gay security guard who would come in and always talk about how he has to fend off all these muscular young men, all the time. He was Mr. Butch, who was this big, tall African-American who used to play a red guitar out on the street. He was a street musician in this. And I even wrote about my boss, who was sort of like a very fat Irishman. And he would be very nice to me. Then he'd go across the street, get a few drinks and come back. He says, "You dirty." And all these fascinating, strange people, all these characters would come in this much different atmosphere. And that all inspired me, as well as my experiences in New York, where I grew up. I like teaching and, being in touch with young people. I'm very grateful for my experience here at Endicott.